Welcome to Death to Everyone, a podcast from the end of time.
The world is doomed, but thankfully, we're here to save the worthwhile crumbs that society has spat out over the past 4.5 billion years.
What do we deem worthy to be spared from the rapture and stowed in our crucible of culture? Join us to find out.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone, to episode 3 of Death to Everyone.
Well, hi, I'm Lazy Susan.
And I'm Zelda Moon.
And in the opening, I noticed you said the Earth was how many years old?
4.5 billion.
Oh, no. I clearly haven't discovered the scriptures of young Jesus Christ that tell us the Earth is only 17,000 years old.
Oh, my God.
The dinosaur bones were planted, Zelda Moon.
By who, Judas?
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
He had bone-making factory.
By the non-believers. So, in my school, when I was growing up, we had science class, but I went to a hippie school.
Yeah, science is a loose term for it. Go on.
Yeah, very loose. And our teacher, in an effort to facilitate fair and balanced learning for our evangelical student, allowed her to present the findings on how fossils were just buried by atheists and make a case for it, which sounds very progressive on paper, but also you're feeding this poor gal, who was lovely, by the way, to the wolves, because then she has to field questions about the stupidest conspiracy ever that was force-fed to her by her insane family.
Oh, my God.
Like, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know? Wow.
Yeah.
When do you, I don't know anything about this. Do you know when we started to discover fossils and like dinosaur bones? Because that's
recent.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
I feel like that whole part of history is recent.
Yes.
Because imagine being in like Jesus' times and digging up a triceratops.
Yeah.
What would you think?
They were all a lot closer to the surface back then as well.
True.
One layer of sediment higher.
Yes. So the things they could have discovered if they just put in a bit more effort.
Instead of building all these bloody pyramids. That was what happening in Jesus' time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not telling you that. This is not a fucking history podcast. If you've come for a history podcast, you're sorely out of luck. This is more of a finding out about the future podcast.
Yes, because it's the end of the world and we're deciding what should remain. And that's in the future. Yes, for the next generation. How's your week been?
It's been good. What's happened? We started making Kick-Ons, which is a web show on YouTube. God, nothing makes you feel more unemployed than explaining to someone over the age of 50 what you're doing at the moment, and that it's a RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under after show shot on YouTube in your back shed with a drag queen who's famous in Australia.
Yeah. It's always like art is the thing. It's like she's really famous.
She's actually really famous. You've probably heard of her. But that's if they've heard of RuPaul.
Yes.
And so it's like...
But you know what they have heard of?
What?
Cole's Minis.
Cole's Little Shop Minis?
Correct.
Yes.
So by association, they know.
Aunt Simone.
They do.
Oh my God, it's true.
But like that, truly.
My gosh.
Oh God.
Okay, so Little Shop Minis as a quick side piece.
Oh yes.
This concept back, you'd go to a supermarket, you'd spend a certain amount of money, and to incentivize you spending money at that supermarket, brand loyalty, yada, 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 they would give you a small gift with purchase. And this gift would be a Shop Mini, one of their products, a participating business that would then have one of their products made mini. Great concept. I mean, terrible for the environment, but who the fuck cares? It's an end of the world podcast.
Yes.
And you get the little gift with purchase and your kids would love it and it would probably shut them up for like 5 minutes in the back of the car. And
it's like, oh, I've got a little thing of dishwashing soap.
Yes, which is great and adorable. I love mini things, as does the world.
Yes.
However, I will never forgive these motherfuckers for making them all different scale.
Oh, the scale.
If I can't put them in the pantry of a little doll's house, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It's like the pasta box is the same size as the Tim Tams.
Piss.
That doesn't make sense.
Ugh, it's disgusting, is what it is.
I preferred the Safeway version that was like the little seeds. You get little seeds and some coconut fiber, and then you could grow like flowers and vegetables. Quite
Non-natives. Growing invasive species.
Oh my God.
Furthering your colonialist agenda in this country of ours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they were quite sweet, but they all constantly died because, I don't know, they dry out really quickly. So it's hard work.
Imagine if you, I mean, I guess that's probably our first easy, like mini round of what this is, you know, if you end up in the fucking bunker and I'm surviving off minis and you're surviving off the little seeds that won't grow, who dies first? Because I think it's you.
I think it's you. You're eating plastic.
That feels systemic. But you're going to just be staring at dirt. What's going to grow?
It's cocoa fiber. That was once a coconut, maybe, or part of. Okay.
Well, let's just bring Ushies down as a compromise.
Ushies. Oh, God.
Yes.
Do you think the globe has been exposed to Ushies, or is that just Australia?
Definitely just Australia.
God, woeful.
Ushies are a fever dream of someone who needs to be killed.
So they're like little rubber characters.
Yes.
Are they intended for the end of a pencil? Or do they just have a hole for some reason?
They have, I think they're stickums. Like their thing is that they stick onto things.
Oh, God.
They're like a squishy vinyl.
Yes, but it's awful character design. It's like Simba as an Ushi.
Well, because they had the Disney sponsorship.
Yes. But they were really like the actual design of those little creatures was awful. Not cute.
I wouldn't get those for my children.
Awful.
My children would not know about Ushis.
No Ushis for you.
No.
The thing is that you can't really control that because they go to school. Their friends are going to have Ushis.
Yeah, but I'm going to be like really a rude parent.
Oh.
Yeah, like super controlling. Like the mum from Carrie. Yeah.
Look how that turned out.
Exactly.
She was fabulous. She's an icon.
Well, her daughter was quite successful actually as a telepath.
Yes. Great in the color red.
And she won prom queen. So I don't know. Mothering seems to have worked out for her.
Oh my God. Oh, good times had by all.
Oh wait, and how was your week, Zelda Moon?
Oh, thank you for asking me that question. I was wondering when that question might come. My week. It's been a very busy week. We had a gig together.
Look, it was very busy. We had a gig.
A gig. Jesus. Yes, but we had a gig together, which was fabulous. It was a wildlife-themed trivia, which was fun. They did about as much research for those questions as we do for this podcast.
I think the trivia had the opposite issue in that there was some really in-depth things there, like about plant species and which one's native to Australia. Like every question was like, if you were in like the botany university, maybe these people would be getting it. But these are volleyball players who are raising money for their volleyball tournaments or whatever they do.
They just want to know, is it an elephant or is it a giraffe? I mean, that's the trivia I would have put together.
I think they would have struggled.
Some of the best.
Hey, listen, if you're a new fan who just found us through that gig and you're listening now, you were there.
So that was fab. We went and saw Barbie.
Oh, Barbie.
We did. So we went with Miss D Flowers and Mum, fellow drag queens in Melbourne.
Queens.
And it was fab.
It was very good. It's hard when things, I can't remember something that's had that much hype except maybe like Pokemon 2000 or something.
It's crazy.
The amount of hype.
Yeah.
But for it to live up to the spectacle was very exciting. Except, yeah, as you were saying, there's going to be a lot of really disappointed basic bitches.
I think so. Which is
mad.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, like going with your gal pals and getting like a 2-hour long like meditation on death.
Yes.
You'll be mad.
Yeah. And it's like, it's the same crowd that like went out with their gal pals to see the Sex and the City movie. And that movie gave them what they wanted.
Well, that's right.
This movie, maybe if you just watch the first 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
You'd be like, yes.
But when that
Barbie.
rose buzz starts coming down, you're fucked.
You're
Yeah.
like, Simu Liu, I read a post from the other day that was like, okay, this is my last post and now I'm going on strike. But we've just ended the Barbie stuff. And just like a very like passionate, like making this film was incredible. Greta and Margot like put in everything to make this movie exactly what they wanted it to be. And I just admire them for that and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, he's such a honey.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Great film.
It was fab.
And Oppenheimer, not seen it yet?
I haven't. Have you?
No.
No.
I will go and see it, but not wantonly.
Oh.
Wantonly.
I see. One of the gals at work today was saying that she saw it on the weekend and that her eardrums were hurting by the end.
Oh my
It's like, oh God.
It's a film about bombs.
Yes, yes. She was like, I think I was sitting too close to the screen and I had like a headache for the rest of the weekend. Like, wow. She said it was 3 hours.
I mean, really, our podcast should have seen the one about the atomic bomb, right?
True.
Although atomic warfare just seems so predictable at this point.
It's not going to end well.
No, it's not the kind of end to the world that I desire.
Okay, you asked me this last week and now I'll ask you. The world's going to end. How's it going to happen?
I like the grey goo theory. You know the grey goo?
Go on.
It's where they make a type of nanobot that can make other nanobots. And it's so small, and then it just goes into a hyperdrive and starts manufacturing just billions upon billions of nanobots until there seems to be this just giant seething wave of technology that like engulfs us all and like picks us all apart atom by atom to create more of itself until the whole universe is devoured. You
are describing this as if it's a concept that I'm meant to be familiar with.
Everyone knows about grey goo, honey. You got to get on. It's like the Ushis before Ushis.
Oh my God.
Actually, Ushis are very similar. They were everywhere. Took over the entire universe. Yeah.
Kitchen benches in all homes covered in Ushis. Imagine if they could self-replicate. My
you know what
God.
I'd love to see as like a period piece series of photos would be like clutter from different eras.
Ooh, that's fun.
Because like, yeah, like those little clutter piles that just circulate like near the phone back in the day.
God, I used to come home from school and get straight onto the phone to my best friend.
Brag about it.
Yeah. Oh, we used to talk on the phone so much. And the cord to the phone didn't go very far. So I would sit on the kitchen bench. Oh.
And twiddle your little fingers through the holes.
Yes. And in hindsight, I was gay. He wasn't. So what's happening there?
Well, it was the 80s.
80s?
There was nothing else to do.
Pardon?
Sorry? Yes, I would do the same thing until my head got very hot from the phone.
Yes.
I think we're going to get brain cancer.
Yeah. Well, shall we talk about our first topic?
Yes, let's dive in after this break.
And welcome back.
You look great today, by the way.
Oh my God, thank you.
Not you, the listener.
Okay.
Walking along in your gorgeous little top and those
I presume.
fabulous little thing you have on your feet.
Or nothing. And it's also working.
Your teeth have never looked better.
Oh, wow.
Or lack thereof. Which, judging by our demographic, I assume 50-50.
I, before coming to record this podcast tonight, I was editing one of our React videos for our Patreon account. And it was after said gig on Saturday night. We filmed a React video for Drag Race. And at the start of it, we both have our makeup on. I'm still in drag. We look quite amazing. And then like at the time, it was like midnight or something. So we start to take off our makeup. And about 10 minutes in, I think we're both under the impression that our makeup is completely removed. And I lived that life for the past 3 days. And then I started editing that video tonight. And we look like we have like crawled out of a dumpster after being set on fire and thrown into the dumpster to die. Like, it's horrendous. I'm like, well, we can't reshoot the episode. That's just what's going to have to exist.
You think that the people who pay $3 a month to watch two strangers watch Drag Race on a couch somewhere in Victoria are going to like give pause watching us look like absolute fucking troll dolls?
Yeah.
No.
Now, first topic for tonight.
I thought you were about to like do a cunning lead in from that story into the topic.
No, I don't have one.
If you were like a skilled segueist, maybe that would have happened just then.
Well, I'm not a seguist.
Or a linguist.
But our first topic for tonight is, of course, cereal.
Okay. So let's get it out the way. What age does it become weird to eat cereal?
15.
Yeah. I reckon that's right.
Yeah.
Cereal, if I am at someone's house and they're opening a little box, a little bag inside.
Little, like the mini ones.
Oh, I do love those mini ones. But no, if they're opening a box, variety pack, regular size, don't mind.
Yeah.
And pouring their little dust and covering them in a bit of milk and making themselves a little like special soup.
Yeah.
No.
I
think muesli, as disgusting as it is, feels like grown-up cereal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Granola. Pretentious grown-up cereal.
Yes. All okay, possible. But if it's like Crispix, no.
It's all pretty bad. But it's crazy the amount of space that takes up in a grocery store. It's like half an aisle, maybe a full aisle.
I think that's the thing, though. Like, grocery stores would be nothing without cereal boxes because they are like the diva of the supermarket world. Before there were Ushis and Grey Goo, there was cereal boxes. Like, yes, they're like just empty mushes, calorie flakes, and just in bags, but they're like box real estate is iconic. No one has done boxes like cereal.
And also unafraid to have a mascot. Not many other things have a mascot like that. Like even like maybe muesli bars or like roll-ups. Like I suppose it's all because it's aimed at kids. I know it is something as I say it out loud. But
yeah. And we're also out of mascot era.
Oh, true. That's unfortunate.
Modern
what about the Capilano
design.
honey bee? You know?
See, she's not mascot-y vibes.
No, she just happens to be a bee on the packaging. It's not really the mascot. It's not like the Fruit Loops.
Toucan Sam. He has a name. Okay, so what am I putting into the crucible of culture?
Yes. What is the best of the best of a bad bunch? Well, it's not that they're bad. It's just that you reach an age limit and you're like, okay, it's time to move on.
Yes.
Yeah. I think growing up, it was very like Nutri-Grain heavy. Had a lot of Nutri-Grain.
Cereal.
Yeah.
It's weird how fucking gendered that cereal is.
Yeah. Iron Man food.
Chain.
And also that advertising is so amazing. That guy's scream.
Zelda Moon of the Future, put the sound of the Nutri-Grain ad in here.
Oh my God, that could be the first thing on the soundboard.
Zelda Moon of the Future, write down a note. Don't get a soundboard. So yes, if you're not from Australia, Nutri-Grain,
How do you describe Nutri-Grain? It's kind of like a brick shape.
it's a chain. It looks like a 3-hole brick, like a cinder block almost.
Yes.
With rounded edges. It's like a brown, like it was like a workshopped color in a lab to find a specific brown coloring that would not offend the like fragile masculinity of like young men.
Yes. Australian men.
Young Australian men. So it's like the
Yes.
whole branding is associated with like triathlons and running into the ocean and like being like going from boy to man. Like, you know, it's a bar mitzvah in a box. And like.
Okay, that's not the advertising strategy, but go on.
Where was I?
Oh
and they really just have never advertised to women. I don't think they do even now. And they call it Iron Man food. And it's just like it's delicious.
It's good. But it also looks chocolatey, but it's not chocolatey flavored.
No.
I don't know how I could describe that flavor.
Truly.
God.
It's like sweet, a bit salty.
Yeah, it's delicious. Also doesn't like completely fall apart in the milk.
No.
Like there's a certain, if you eat it quick, it's crunchy. Let it sit, get soft. But it doesn't like fall apart. It's not like Wheat Bix where you're going to be eating a slosh.
I love Wheat Bix.
Oh, yuck.
Listen,
Eat
we
Wheat
weren't
Bix.
allowed all kinds of we weren't Nutri-Grain house.
Oh,
We were like Power Grain sometimes when my dad shopped at Aldi.
Power Grain.
It's like the Booty Boo knockoff Nutri-Grain.
I'm so sorry, sister. I didn't know that. It does explain a lot.
Power blocks. And we had the Wheat Bix, and you would take a little bit of brown sugar, dust it over the top of your Wheat Bix, and then drench them in milk.
So we were Nutri-Grain. Nutri-Grain, very, very, very occasionally Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Very occasionally.
Oh, I am calling child services today.
Oh, like I'm talking like maybe one box a year. And
Cocoa Pops. That was
Cocoa
one
Pops.
box a year.
Yeah.
We
Cocoa
weren't going
Pops.
to the demonic, multicolored.
Yes. Well, yeah. Yes, occasionally Cocoa Pops, and then came the Queen, Crunchy Nut.
I didn't know who was going to bring her up first, but incredible.
Crunchy Nut. Oh my God.
Who is she?
It is.
It's like
It's
like Fruit Loops could never.
Oh, nothing.
They're like cheap pandering to our senses.
Yeah.
When Miss Crunchy Nut comes along and perfects cornflakes, let's be real.
Yes.
They are cornflakes,
It's glorified.
everyone.
Yeah, it's glorified cornflakes.
But then you take a little bit of the nut, sprinkle it in, and how are you going to adhere the nut to the flake? Well, of course,
A healthy
humanity's
drizzle.
oldest weapon, honey.
It's so good. When it's like fallen apart and you just got one bit, it's good. And then other times you get a clump. And those are the good times.
Those are the good days.
It is so delicious. It makes the milk sweet with the honey. Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, well, we don't need to discuss this any further then.
Oh, it's clear.
It's
Crunchy Nut.
It is Crunchy Nut, and it's like what a zig and zag for cereal culture because no one saw it coming. I remember when it came out.
Yeah.
It was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they have it overseas.
I wonder. If not,
Sort your life out.
like people were like Tim Tams from Australia.
Yeah.
Have Crunchy Nut.
Sort your life.
An honorable mention to, I can't remember what they were called, but like, the puffs of Matrix.
Yeah.
Like,
Checks.
Are they checks?
Yeah.
It's like a puff and it's like all
Yeah. It's like a
lattice.
with like a honey. That's
That
good.
was like pre-Crunchy Nut. Crunchy Nut's the improvement. But that's a good one too.
Yeah. And I would say a shout out to international listeners. Apple Jacks are incredible. It's a Cheerio with a cinnamon sweet appley flavor. It's very good.
I love it.
Excellent. Also, like the weird dynamic of going and spending time at other kids' houses when you were young and what cereal they were allowed to have versus what you were allowed to have.
True. Oh, it was like kids who could bring roll-ups to school.
Yeah.
I never had roll-ups.
And where are those kids now, Zelda?
They're still on the peninsula.
Dead. No teeth. They're some of our no teeth listeners.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah,
and you go.
It's weird, like the school lunches, like letting other kids, I don't know, just it's a lot to see each other's lunches. It's so exposing.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is what your house can provide you with. Also, I'm sure we'll talk about breakfast another day as a broader concept. But I remember going to, again, my best friend's house, who I used to call on the phone after school, and they would prepare scrambled eggs like this. You would crack the eggs into like a Tupperware container, put plastic cheese, like open it up and like kind of cut it into fifths, kind of swoosh it around in the just egg, and then put it in the microwave for like 2 minutes. And then it would come out as this like kind of frothy, and you kind of whisk it a little, and that was how they made scrambled eggs.
And then what happened?
You'd die.
And this was your best friend, you say?
But it was also so strange because they own like a family business of like a long line of butchers, and they have this like very bougie butcher shop down on the peninsula.
Name and shame.
No, let's not go there. But yeah, it was so strange because it was like the worst way I could possibly imagine preparing an egg.
Did you partake?
It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I imagine.
Yeah.
It's like once you get inside. That's why I love like airplane food. Like all that like weird pre-made scrambled eggs that comes in like a little pre-portioned section.
Yeah.
After they've just lit up the cabin again and you're all there still.
I hate it. I don't want to eat on top of myself. And then like you've got so much rubbish and there's no room.
And then
they offer you like a can of Coke and a cup. And you're like, well, there's only one little divot for a cup on this tray table.
Oh, yeah.
So am I putting my cup there? Am I putting the can there?
You're meant to empty the entire can.
Yeah, but then they're going to be back in half an hour to pick it up. I'm going to live with that can. And the lid of the thing and the cutlery plastic. It's a lot.
Then it gives you something to do because you can slowly condense it over time. Like you might put the can in the cup.
It's stress. I'd rather have nothing.
Well, nothing you shall receive. No, oh God, I love all the stupidity of all the individually wrapped everything. Little salt, little pepper, little sauce, little bit of milk. And also you can just have as much tea as you want.
Tea.
As much coffee as you want. It's so good.
No.
I don't like drinking on a plane though. That's crazy.
Like drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, I could think of nothing worse than being like trapped in a space in a like... Oh,
being drunk, just forced to sit down silently. Like, great. I'm glad I have a buzz for this. I get all the awful parts of being drunk. Another joy.
When we were flying from New York to London, we were at their like JFK airport. That's right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was this guy there, just like getting on the plane at the same time as us. And because there were 10 Australians, well, 9 and 1 New Zealander, he like heard they're different and they care to be different. And, you know, we respect all sorts here, even New Zealanders.
Good.
And
yes.
he was like, oh, hey, you're all Australian. That's my Australian accent, apparently. And he was from Queensland and was so wasted. And he was just like, oh God, I can't believe I ran into some motherfucking Aussies here.
Fuck me.
And he was like, he was an athlete. He was like a runner. And he was like, I live here. I'm just going to London to do a race and then I'm flying back or whatever. It was so strange. But he was so drunk that he couldn't control himself. He was quite sweet, but like he was just talking so loudly. And then we get on the plane and he's like continuing the conversations with the various ones of us who were like 3 rows away. And like It was very chaotic.
That is
like
a horror
That's why you don't get drunk on an aeroplane, because you can't control yourself.
Sort it out, Greg.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He made a fool of himself that day, and I'll never forget it.
Why do people go to places for races? That's weird. Run at home, fucking loser.
Run around the block.
Like, what difference does it make? Is it just that everyone gets, like, the one time everyone's going to look at you? Like, what is this about?
Well, it's probably like us going to LA DragCon, you know? Like,
so you want to
for the
meet other
event.
runners?
Maybe.
You want big opportunities to get on RuPaul's drag running race?
You want to beat the other runners.
Is that it?
Maybe.
Can you just write down how fast they went and do it there? Like, drag is about performing. Running is about running, presumably.
I don't know. That's beyond our expertise.
Perhaps you should have spent less time judging, Greg, and just ask some questions.
We wanted to get to know you. Oh, my God. Shall we have a quick break?
Yeah, let's do it. Welcome back, and now it's time for our second subject. What's going in to the crucible?
Into the bunker. We're discussing weaponry.
Weapons. Throughout all of human time, these tools have allowed humanity to thrive and to die by its own sword.
Protection or oppression.
That's right.
Yeah.
Weaponry. What's your favorite? Make your case.
So,
Gun.
I'm going to guess that your weapon is a handheld pistol.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my guess. Because it's very hot.
It is very chic.
Aesthetically incredible.
Yes.
Unfortunate. I hate guns.
You actually hate guns more than any other person I've ever met.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you? So my first boyfriend, who I'm sure is not ever going to listen to this, like, good God, had gone to like a firing range with his dad.
I thought you were going to say, my first boyfriend was a gun and he let me down.
Oh my God. And I like thought about it every time we were together. And I was like, I just can't believe that you've shot a gun.
Are you okay?
I was really freaked out by it. And his dad and like, ugh.
You thought in the night his hand would turn into a gun and he would just shoot
but I was
you.
like, but why recreationally would you want to just go and learn how to fire something that could kill someone?
Well, I guess there's so many things that you could use. Like, you know, you want to learn Taekwondo or karate.
Yeah, but like it's more than that.
Art form.
Yes.
Well, that's it. Shooting is also a sport. So.
It is like, and that forever was my like thought process of like, there's a skill set and like a real art to martial arts and like physical, like manual weaponry that there isn't in firearms, but that's not true. It does take a lot of skill and precision and blah, 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 blah. However, you can get a similar outcome without those things.
I could kill a man with my bare hands. I don't need your pistol.
But anyway, Anyway, my guess for you is a pistol.
Well, you'd be wrong because it's anthrax. Are you telling me there's not anything more glamorous than taking a small amount of little powder and having it go in someone's face? Turning their own physiology against them.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's so chic. You can send it in the mail. You don't even have to be there. Oh.
Just a cloud of death.
Incredible.
Oh my God. What about the one that you put on like a handkerchief and hold it to someone's face? What's that?
Like a chloroform.
Yeah.
But chloroform doesn't kill them.
No, it just knocks you out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That
Whereas
seems like your
anthrax,
style as well.
I do love the idea of chloroform. Handkerchiefs, except sorry to the people that carry handkerchiefs, but you're fucking weird.
Oh, so...
Like... I get I would almost rather die than carrying like a handkerchief
hanky. Growing up, I had this vivid memory so we were a hanky house. Like I had hankies. My hankies were all red. My brothers were all blue.
Oh, God.
So that they could be-
hate this story.
And my dad had, I don't know, some other color. Mum never had hankies, but she always kept a tissue in her bra.
Yeah.
Which is another vivid memory.
See, that I can get behind. Chic.
Yes. But I have this, like, and I used to hate them. I never used to really use them, but my dad would. And I have this vivid memory of my mum doing the washing and like emptying the washing basket and prepping everything, like taking the tissues out of the pockets and like blah, 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 blah. And like ripping open the hankies because they'd be all dried with snot in a little clump because they've been sitting there for a day.
Oh
and
God.
she'd have to rip them open before putting them in the washing machine.
We're cancelling the podcast.
So haunting.
That's foul. And when did you transition off hankies?
Oh, I was never on board. I didn't like it. I think I liked, like kind of waving it in my little limp wrist.
Yes. Starting races at the track.
Yes. That I enjoyed, but no, I didn't really use them. Also, it was like, I don't know, it was too like...
Kane, I didn't even have to snap open your hankies in the washroom today.
Is everything okay?
Your brothers, they're all used.
Ew. No, I hate it.
Oh. Except the one pass for a hanky?
Oh.
In Matilda, Miss Honey has the hanky that's on her wrist, and that is one of the most cute and adorable character touches. It's very sweet.
Miss Honey.
Miss Honey.
Okay, so Anthrax, you're a demon. My choice is the halberd.
I'm
Lazy
Googling.
Susan's currently looking up what a halberd is, but it's like a pole. It's like a pole arm weapon. So it's like a long weapon, kind of like a lance.
Oh, it's like a big axe.
Yes, but it has like an axe edge. It has a sword top, and then a little stabby part on the backside, or a double-edged halberd. Also very hot because like there's something so like incredible about holding this like weapon that is like on the ground and like soaring into the air. You could put a flag on it. Oh, and
You're
also you
like-
don't have to get close. I don't want to get close to someone.
Darling, have you met Anthrax? She's your girl.
Yeah.
3 meters, try 30,000 miles.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's camp. It does feel like you're just trying to get to be in a parade.
Yes.
At which point, get in a parade, honey. We could spare some lives. Do you think that's what the gay men are after with the whole Mardi Gras bullshit?
Is
Like they just want to like have giant axes and go back to a kind of medieval experience. Is there something in a past life happening here?
yeah, maybe. I wonder if there'd be some meeting point of like what's the medieval thing where they're on the horse and they're jousting? Jousting. What's like the jousting equivalent at Mardi Gras?
Dykes on bikes. At the end of the parade where they separate into two congregations and drive really fast at each other.
Directly into
And they
each
knock
other.
off the lipstick lesbian from the back of the seat. Yeah. I know last week I was rallying against space. And I don't have an apology for space. I still think you suck. However, parades, no.
But what about like when like Sonic the Hedgehog is like
Macy's Day Parade?
yeah.
Giant balloons?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But-
you like things of scale. Small
Yeah.
scale, big scale.
But like, I came out of the closet so I could
You?
suck dick and eat ass. Not so I could be caught in traffic. Like, I don't want to walk slowly in the street. Thank you so much.
yeah.
Ew. And it's like a protest I could get into.
Yes.
I get those homosexuals. I get the 79ers, 78ers starting protesting against the police in Sydney. Absolutely.
Yes.
That has everything about the gay movement or the queer movement that I really appreciate. And respect to them. What it has become if I was slowly dredging along in front of a Qantas float, I would rather die.
But what if you were wearing a Qantas uniform that had a little rainbow pouch on your breast?
And also, it's the homogenization of the queer aesthetic into the same like 5 holographic harnesses and like awful body glitter.
Yeah.
It doesn't look fabulous. It's not the fabulous fantasy you think it is. We've lost our way.
It is so strange that there's such a lack of diversity in the aesthetic of like sexy gay.
Yeah.
It's like jockstrap, harness, maybe a dog mask.
Yeah. Oh, the dog mask.
The dog mask, I don't understand.
I mean, like pup play, absolutely. I just wish that people were making their own.
That's the thing.
I think
they're all
so
the same.
cool.
Like, and even the harnesses and the jock straps and everything. It's like you go to every sex shop and they have the same like 6 different brands with the same 20 different designs, and it's like there's so little diversity in the clothing.
Yeah,
it's like what? Well, I always hate wearing clothes that people are like, oh, I saw that in blah blah, that looks great.
Yeah,
I'm like, ugh, don't know where I got this from.
Yeah, I meant to have just appeared.
Yes.
Yeah,
but like at those events, it's like, I mean, you just go to like dailyjocks.com or whatever.
Yeah,
and like get the whole outfit.
No, like that's I think there's even more interesting and inventive ways to be naked or half naked.
Yes,
like fab things to do.
But then, as you say that, I think of some examples, which is like festival culture, where everyone's half naked and looks fucking ridiculous. I hate that.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Oh, I hate it.
I think
because you're so inauthentic. It's like, you're not wearing that when you go to like. You're not wearing that when you're going to the movies, are you? It's like, no, that's you're like, this is my fun, crazy festival outfit. Fuck you. Why don't you just dress how you dress?
Well,
like, why do you have to save it for like 3 days of the week? I mean, 3 days of the year. Like, why?
You're hitting upon like I think the reason that I maybe have an issue with parades and other people maybe don't is that like I am dressing like a psycho too many days of the year as a drag queen to like get a kick out of that liberation and that feeling of freedom you get from just like being a different person for a day. Whereas if I was like working behind a desk in an office, maybe I would feel like that exhilaration of being like, no one ever sees my legs. And now they're out for the world to see.
Out, and I've got my striped Adidas socks halfway up my calf and no one can stop me. I'm crazy.
It's just weird to go from like one set uniform of like, this is how you dress in an office and this is how you dress at the gay parade. And it's like, this is about your like big exhilarating moment of freedom. So it's less that I resent that people have stepped out of their regular mode of being. I just wish that they were doing something that was like unique and exciting to them and not so much of like a uniform of the same 5 things.
And that is why I love cosplay and I love like Comic-Con kind of events and like video game conferences and stuff like that, because it's the same kind of thing. And like, it's different in a way because you're not creating your own original thing. You're just like taking something else, but it's this showcase of like, I love this thing and I'm going to dress as that. And that's the thing that I want to represent. And so much of that culture is the opposite, where it's like the more that you've done yourself, the higher the praise. And it kind of like then spins it in like, it highlights your personality and it really gives you a chance to be yourself and like live this fantasy. It's like you can't go to the like, I mean, you can't, but you look like a fucking idiot if you like go to the cosplay shop and like buy the, I don't know, Demon Slayer outfit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is like it's an interesting space we're in. I hope Mardi Gras, something big happens, it changes, it shifts its vibe.
It's bizarre. I think we're both also like having our minds, like some friends of ours run events, and there was an event, was that 2 years ago, where like the police it was a complicated event, but like had to shut down this party, and then like in the middle of Mardi Gras, This like party was shut down at like 1 a.m. and like all of the patrons inside who were half naked had to like go out of the building and were just like on the street naked, and it was just like crazy. Like,
but I couldn't help but wonder, why were you all wearing the exact same outfit? But yeah, Sydney police needs to get their fucking shit together.
Yeah, it's like things like that. It's like this event is great in theory, but there's just so many, I don't know, there's issues. And that's why I think the halberd is the best weapon.
Well, you know.
But I think if we've already got Carrie Fisher's bones strung up as decoration in the bunker, we don't really need a halberd next to it. But Anthrax has a certain sneakiness to it that I like.
Well, I think, you know, when you want to poke at Carrie Fisher's bones, you'll want the long stick.
This is true.
Do you know one of the most haunting things that Zelda Moon ever said?
Oh, God.
Apropos of almost nothing. Well, she was relaying a story. She was talking about, like, she saw a picture of someone holding a gun with a bayonet on top, and she was like, that's a war crime. You can't have that. That's a war crime. That's a violation of the Geneva Convention."
Yeah.
And it was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she was like, to have two blades. You can't have two blades on a...
You can't have more than two blades on an edged weapon.
See,
because it
this
lacerates.
is exactly how she said it. It was so weird.
Because it lacerates the wound and it's like very difficult to stitch back together. That's inappropriate.
Just in the normal stream of your everyday. You can't have that. No, I'm sorry. It's a violation of the Geneva Convention. It lacerates the wounds in such a way. What? Are you okay? And then...
You chose anthrax.
It doesn't lacerate you at all, except on the inside. But yes, then today you bring out the halberd.
Yes.
Which has many, many sharp
No, but it makes a clean wound because there's only one edge.
There's 3 blades on there.
Yeah, but you're not shoving the entire thing into someone's chest.
But wouldn't that be epic?
Oh my God. Okay, we'll be right back.
And welcome back. Our final topic for the day
is, of course, the humble yet beautiful Disney princess.
Who's coming into the
into the bunker.
Not in the bunker.
Into the bunker. I care so little about this. I don't know where to begin.
It is because we both grew up during the what do they call it? The revival, the Disney resurgence of the rebirth of the Disney animation studios through Little Mermaid,
Lion King,
and so I don't know how, passing through that era, it didn't stick in the way that it is stuck into the souls and identities of some of our peers.
Yes,
because you meet seemingly normal folks, and then you discover they are full out Disney adults. It's unnerving. I'm not going to yuck anyone else's yum unless it's eating cereal or not sending anthrax in the mail, but
it's bizarre. It's bizarre, but yeah, it's. I find it quite bizarre, just because I don't know, those stories are just
I mean.
What?
You like the space version of it. You're a Star Wars girly.
Yes, but I don't know. I just have never resonated with any of those stories very much, I don't think. And I also love musicals. I love animation. It's just I don't know. It's just never really done it for me. Especially the classics of Disney. If we're talking Cinderella and Snow White and Ariel and Belle. Oh,
okay. So
who even knows her name?
You just then.
Yeah, but that's because I've researched for the podcast.
Well, I will
by
say,
looking up Disney princess names.
Who are they? When did they happen?
Yeah,
I did love the Beauty and the Beast growing up as a kid, and I'd walk around my lounge room and I'd pretend to drop my books like Belle in the mud, and then I'd wipe off the books and hold them like she did in front of her chest, which I always thought was very chic and walk around my house holding the books.
Just one moment. Earlier in this podcast, you said, when I came out. And I'm quite confused by the timeline.
Well, I was 6.5 and I said I want to suck dick and eat ass and not walk in traffic. And
was that before or after your parents witnessed you with these books and imaginary mud?
Little town, it's a quiet village.
Oh my God.
Every day. Yeah. But I did not hold on to that. I couldn't particularly tell you the plot of that film. I didn't see the remake with Emma Watson. But it's like, what are we holding on to here?
Yeah.
I don't know that there's much in the way of like personality traits, particularly in the earlier girlies. Like Ariel's not an interesting character. So I guess I'm today going to just be breaking down by like based on the vibe, the look,
the look,
the vibe.
Yeah. Did you see any of the discourse this week across Snow White?
What about her?
Her casting in the live action?
Oh, for fuck's sake! What?
Because I can't remember her name, but the actress is.
Who did they cast?
Like, I think she's like Latina or something.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was like, but her name is Snow White.
You were like,
because
canonically.
Her skin is white as snow. Like, you know.
Well, it's time to get back on 4chan, Zelda Moon. Let the world know your thoughts.
No, I have no thoughts. I could care less. It was just like.
She has, I was going to say, she's got vitiligo. And that's the story. But
anyway.
Yeah, that Snow White, now that you bring her up, is kind of baller attitude. Kind of had some of the coolest trinkets. Like poison apple is quite close to anthrax, if you do ask someone like me.
Yeah.
A glass coffin, quite chic.
True.
And then hanging out in a house with all those men.
You famously love short men bald with beards.
It's true. And they mine diamonds. She kind of had it set up. Then Belle, she also kind of had it set up because she got that giant castle with the library, which is also very chic.
Yeah.
And all the talking bits and bobs and clocks and a horse.
Yes.
It's between those two for me. Cinderella, she's just poor and has like one good night. Like, good for you, babe. I guess she does get all of it for all time, though, at the end. But she doesn't get a glass coffin, which is very like Chairman Mao. Like, go and visit his body in repose at Tiananmen Square kind of vibes.
God. Is his body there?
Yes.
In a glass coffin?
Yes.
Visible?
Yes. People walk past all day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Imagine walking past to see like the bloated corpse of John Howard. It's just like, what?
I would rather not. I would rather
You just walk past him in the
not.
street and you're like, no, he's not dead.
It's like one of those installations at Fed Square where like Regurgitator are recording an album in Fed Square, but it's
K-Rod's body in repose at Fed Square today.
Oh my God. I, thinking about Snow White, do realize that I've based a lot of my entire personality on that one scene of the witch closing the trapdoor going,
you know, now that you say it, I do see it.
yes, I love her.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the villains are far more interesting.
Yes, that will be another day.
Now,
Also, Spooky Forests. That's a great character.
like you came as Spooky Forest.
Yeah, but just like, you know, like every branch in the darkness is another.
There were a lot more haunted trees, you know, Wizard of Ozing, HR Puffin stuffing.
Yes, or like Labyrinth, like falling through in the hands. And what about terrifying children? Where has that gone? There's nothing scary in Encanto other than,
Yeah, true.
you know, being a bit misunderstood.
By your family. What's scarier than that?
A spooky forest with hands.
I guess it's just displacement.
Oh, see, Encanto's good. Is she a princess?
I don't think so. But you know who is Moana?
Moana.
She's a princess. She has good songs.
Moana is Frozen's a princess.
Yes,
But
there's
it's
two.
not actually Elsa, is it?
Both of them are.
Both of them.
So, okay, I remember this is a little story time. When I
Okay.
was in LA many moons ago, I went on a date with a guy and he was like, I'm a Disney animator. And I was like, oh, cute. And we went to Denny's together. And it was very cute because we were both like obsessed with the kitsch of Americana stuff because he was from Spain.
Oh.
And so, and he's like, I got into his drop top car. And he was like, I just couldn't come to LA and not get like a convertible. Like, I think it's so funny. And we're like, let's go to the Denny's, like the family restaurant. And it was like, when I got pancakes at the Denny's. And I was like, so you work for Disney Animation Studios? Like, what are you working on? And he's like, oh, I'm working on this new film called Frozen. And it's the first Disney film that has 2 Disney princesses in it. And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of shit.
Sounds like twice the nightmare.
Cut to like a year or so later when it was coming out. And then I was telling my friend, I was like, you've got to go and see my friend's new movie, Frozen. Just a little indie picture.
Yeah.
I hope he makes it.
him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Jasmine, she's in there.
I am not Jasmine. I am Aladdin.
Jasmine, Mulan.
Mulan's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I like her.
But also, like, I'm grey on, like, is Pocahontas a princess?
I think so. She's counted sometimes in the like merchandising.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna make my call. I'm gonna have to say it's Snow White. She's got it down. She's got a cool outfit. She's got a vibe.
Yeah.
And you know what? I believe personally on this side of the podcasting studio that I would enjoy her played by anyone of any race.
As would I, because she is also my pick for Queen of the Disney Princesses. Also because that's like it's the only one that I watched as a child often.
Well, most of them weren't out by the time you were a child. What was it, the 60s?
Huh. So funny tonight. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And
very
like
chic.
it has so much soul. I do think a lot of those movies have soul. Like they're not soulless. You just move
they're
on.
super gay. Like this is the thing. Like the Howard Ashman and Alan Menken contributions to the Disney Renaissance, is insane, and that's like centering a gay man and like his specific sensibility and humor that is totally there. It's just for kids. Like I just don't understand why we need to all be infantilized as adults.
Yeah, blech. But I do also like about Snow White that she feels like the outside of the princesses because she's not of the same era as the rest. She's like so much older than they are.
Well, it's her and like she's Aurora so like and Cinderella.
Yeah, but she doesn't count. Yeah, she's kind of a loser. She doesn't have like flowing locks,
and she's a brunette.
Yeah.
And and she's also got that like 1930s style like voice, and it's like shit.
When she's at the well, I'm wishing. That's the origination of that stupid radio voice. It's the echo from the well. Oh my God.
See episode 1 for more information on that one.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you not talking about in episode 1 where you were like saying the same thing twice and changing your voice?
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay.
I understand.
Wow. I wonder if... I bet those two things aren't related. Anyway, I was determined...
You bet those two things aren't related?
Maybe it... Why?
Are you high? Are you okay?
Oh my God.
You're like, Ryan Seacrest saw that and was like, this is the inspiration for Kiss FM.
Maybe, baby.
iHeartRadio. This week, I'm wishing. Yeah. I do love the joke where they're like, now that Disney's acquired this person's technically a Disney princess.
Yes.
Fun. Now that we've taken Snow White into the bunker, what's happening to the other girlies? And who do you think is surviving like in the post-apocalyptic landscape without our help?
I think some of them might assimilate the nanotech and become cyborgs.
In the grey goo.
Yes.
Riding the grey goo wave.
Yes.
Moana. She knows. She commands the nanobots.
She does.
Well, she speaks to gods in her film. She's on a different level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's really fucking weird. Please comment, but I don't remember how much Belle is doing to help all the things that are trapped inside of objects. She's living in a house of horrors and she doesn't bat a fucking eye.
No.
Weirdo.
Yeah. No, she's first to go.
Well, no, that makes me think she's kind of got a cold, dead heart. And
the nanobots will respond well to that.
That's right. Has there been a robot princess?
Robot princess.
At least a cyborg, certainly. What's Disney thinking?
Yeah. They don't like that.
The brave little toaster. Was she a Disney princess?
What about Wall-E?
Eve. There you go.
Eve?
In Wall-E.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen Wall-E.
Here, you can't just drop Wall-E and not expect me to chat.
You know what I think about when I think of Wall-E?
What?
I think of that Katy Perry music video where she's like, "You're so hypnotizing." You know, that's kind of set on like a Wall-E kind of planet.
I wonder if that was the inspiration for Wall-E. They saw Katy Perry's music video
for E.T.
and they decided to make Wall-E.
Maybe. Ask her. You don't know.
Do you reckon Disney, do you reckon Katy Perry's upset that she wasn't asked to play a Disney princess at some point?
Yeah.
Like the pop girlies after, obviously, like The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
It's
like how is, what's her name? Amy Adams. How is Amy Adams getting that gig and not Katy Perry?
Famed actress Katy Perry. That's about enough out of you.
Wow.
So today, going into the bunker, officially we have Kellogg's Crunchy Nut.
Yep.
If you don't have it in your country, move. Not Ushies.
Not Ushies.
We have two weapons.
Yeah, I think two. Let's bring them both.
Anthrax and Giant Axe.
The humble halberd.
The humble halberd. The name of your first child. Halberd. And then we have Snow White.
Snow White.
Which, now that I think about it, I'm glad I don't have to be in that bunker, because when she starts to sing, my teeth get on edge. I liked it more when she was dead. Well, in the
that too will come.
I would like her to be in the glass coffin.
Oh, in the glass coffin.
I don't want conscious.
You know what? Well, we're not bringing a fucking coffee table in, so might as well bring the glass coffin.
Glass coffin, coffee table, thank you, with Kellogg's Crunchy Nut for banquets. And Anthrax for all.
Oh my God, a sprinkling on top of the settee.
Absolutely. Well, you could use the glass coffin as storage.
Well, it's got a body in it.
Yeah, but it's not taking up 100% of the usable space.
Oh my God. Well, you want to keep the box of Crunchy Nut next to her head?
Yeah, well, she's not dead, Zelda. Don't be ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Do you think she's going to be like breathing on it or something? Ew. Just, it's next to her right palm.
Clammy white. Well, thank you so much for listening, everyone, and we look forward to having you back next week.
And thank you so much for your patience during this hard time. That's going to be my new sign-off.
Is that in reference to you spending an hour with me?
Yes.
Let's see.
Death to Everyone is recorded at Natural Habitat Studios by Matt Shears.
Our theme song and music was provided by Edie Centric and Angus Leslie.
And we've been your hosts, drag queens Lazy Susan
and Zelda Moon.
And you can contact us at deathtoeveryonepod@gmail.com.
And if you would, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/deathtoeveryone.